I have some Cuba stuff to read. Like it's kind of my diary.
Okay.
I don't know what's in it, but lots of rum probably.
All right, we're live, I think.
All right. Cool.
All right. Welcome everybody. This is Matt and Iris Talk About Cuba. So this is the first we're running from the Zoom from the Dawes Center for the Arts that I'm actually we're running something. So Iris graciously agreed to help me out here and be the first up. So let's without further ado, what are your impressions of Cuba? Well, give some background to what we did and why we were there, and I'll do the same.
Yeah. So it's been what, 6 months since we came back, or about the time where we were there, and we went to go do a panel at Casa de las Americas for Latinos en Estados Unidos. So Latinx in the United States. Beautiful panel of people all over New York. We met a lot of people, professors from East Coast. And we were on a panel with Profe Prado, yourself, Viva Padilla, and then Luis J. Rodriguez. So just presenting on our work in our different communities, the different things, that each of us have been doing, where we're at locally, and then kind of bringing that project together and presenting it via a video, which SGV Filmworks did for us. A shout out to Michael Becerra out there. So we presented a video that is it online, Matt? I don't know if it's available.
No, the video we were gonna put it online. So it's gonna go online as soon as we should, actually put it online now. I mean, now would be the time. I mean, I'll good idea. I'll talk to Jonathan. Jonathan, who also worked with the Dawes Center for the Arts. So he's kind of our unofficial videographer. So he's getting more and more closer to being the official one. But we'll definitely put that in Jonathan's ear and hopefully have a video about the Cuba trip.
Yeah. So we presented the video. We presented some poetry and just came back full of ideas. I feel like we came back talking about documenting everything, the experience itself. I feel very blessed to have been there. And thinking back, I was telling one of my housemates just like a couple of days ago about the water in Cuba and how magical it seemed when we were at the what's the thing called?
The Malecón?
El Malecón?
Yeah.
And just bringing back some of that beautiful energy that the people gave to us, and hoping to go back at some point. I've been very interested in the news. I know both you and I share a lot of the articles that come through with all the Cuban doctors that are flying out to different places to put their lives and their selves on the line to help out in this pandemic. So yeah.
I mean, it's really incredible with the doctors. I mean, think about the fact that they have so many doctors per capita. They're still able to send doctors around the world because they're not worried. I mean, they're not worried about like running out of doctors or whatever. In the way that I mean, I can't imagine right now. Right now, I think it would be pretty reckless for the United States to be sending doctors around the world, because we need all the doctors we can have because we're in such short supply of so much here in the United States. But Cuba,
which is being first world, what? What?
Oh yeah, toilet paper.
What was that?
So we don't even have toilet paper. I mean, we apparently, we ran out of toilet paper. So I mean, like, I don't know. I think that's that's all you got to say. I mean,
I think this country's been running on BS for a long time. So.
What was a trip to me though when I went to the market the other day is that the toilet papers are still, kind of like they're slowly coming back, but they're still very short on toilet paper. But there's still like a lot of shampoo. There's still a lot of hand soap. There's still a lot of like, different other like, deodorant and other hygiene products. So it's very, I don't know. I don't know. I would imagine like if that was the thing, then all these things would be whatever. But it's just really random, like what people like take and what's going on, like.
It's not random. It's what the news is telling you you need. People tuning into the TV, and it's like you're watching someone else take the toilet paper and take the hand sanitizer, and so in
Yeah,
your mind and your subconscious, it's like, oh, that's what I need too. But
yeah.
turn
Well,
off the TV. Oh,
yeah. Well, going by that, I think the shampoo industry really missed the they missed the boat.
it's their time right now. Dang. Yeah. Well, I know over here on my end, we're something we've always been doing is like going back to gardening and like planting, viable sources of putting seeds in the ground and
Yeah,
making our own herbs and food and stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, that's where it's at.
So, what were your impressions of Casa Las Americas more specifically while we were out there?
I mean, it was surreal to walk into that room. Getting off the plane, we had taken a red eye. We're all like a little drowsy, a little hungry, and just maybe a little high, in that sense. And walking through those halls and seeing
Yeah,
Roque Dalton, like his stuff up there on the wall, the area where he once worked, places where Che himself, probably stood, Violeta Parra, and all the greats that have walked those walls, and it felt like they left an impression, and for us to be able to step into time, or like through time, it felt, and kind of have access to those memories, to have access to, yeah, just being able to present, and to be invited, for us now to become part of those memories in a sense, in our words, and what we take with us, like what we were representing when we walked into Casa de las Americas. So it was definitely surreal, a beautiful experience. There's lots of pictures out there we posted, so people can check that out as well.
yeah. I remember I saw someone post, I think it was either today or yesterday, um, this picture of Galliano speaking out there, and it was wild because it was in that room with the big like I don't know, a big tree,
The Tree of Life.
the tree of life,
Yeah,
yeah. So it was with the big tree of life, and I was like, wow, I've been there,
we stood on that stage. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Wow, it's a trip.
the dots across time for sure.
So what did you notice about some of like the daily kind of like life out there in Cuba? Like how is it different than the United States, would you say?
I mean, for one, I think one thing we talked about is we didn't notice police presence necessarily. I know that we were in one section of the island, like we were mostly in La Habana,
Mhm.
but it felt very safe to be out there. We walked places. We took the local taxis, which were beautiful 50s bomb classic cars.
Yeah.
But it felt safe to be out, and it felt like um, the people were genuinely happy, like regardless. There's no homeless, right? We noticed that. Um, and the people were, even though how can we say it? It's like they're living on basics. They're happy. Um, there's not a want for more, like, how this system creates that for us. Like, what's next? Like, how much of a bigger house can I have? Or like, how much toilet paper do you need? Right.
Yeah.
They just felt very content, or like they were happy to just connect and be. So that felt different, definitely.
Yeah. I remember getting back and people telling me that, Cuba, like the government's very tricky and they're hiding they're homeless and you didn't see the whole country, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, like I was in Havana, that would be where the homeless would be. I mean, like just think about this. That's where homeless people tend to be, which would be in the urban center, right? So like I don't know, like if I don't know,
Right.
like let's say like people were coming, let's say there was a first of all, I don't know why the Cuban government or the mayor of Havana would think it was necessary to hide the homeless from me, because I would see it and I would know. I mean, I don't know, that's kind of a weird. I mean, I don't think
That's
I
a
hope
deal.
that. Yeah,
We got
yeah, yeah, I know. I was like, oh, he'll say something. We got to put on our best. We got to put our best foot forward. Or why they would hide that from us? I don't. For a conference that's first of all, it's kind of silly. But second of all, let's say there was a big deal, a big conference or something like that, or an artist conference coming to Los Angeles. Garcetti wouldn't be able to hide the homeless. I mean, that's not possible. What you're describing is not possible. If there are these,
yeah.
it's not possible, and they wouldn't do it. And the the way they make it sound like the Cuban government are like they're sorcerers or they're like Mysterio, from the Spider-Man movie. Like you can hide people. They can just like make an illusion or something. So
Yeah. What'd you say? They hid the homeless inside
yeah,
inside
they
the
hid the
home?
homeless in the houses. Yeah, that's how crafty they are. That's right. They hid their homeless
Dang.
in houses, and they hide their poor in doctors' coats. I don't. That's
Hmm.
tricky Cubans.
Yeah.
But people here also talk about how like Cuba, if nobody can, if being a doctor is not going to make you rich, then no one's going to want to be a doctor, right? And in the same breath, they tell you that cab drivers make more than doctors in Cuba. Now I don't know if that's true, but let's say it was true. Cuba still has more doctors per capita than anywhere in the world. So people still want to, and people want to be doctors in Cuba because they want to help people. That inclination to help people is kind of nurtured. So and you can feel it everywhere. Like whatever the inclinations people have to do things are just kind of nurtured, and you can feel that when you're out there.
Yeah. I think speaking to also like the palabra that they have, and technology is different out there. That was one thing that was different. Um, when we were trying to get back to the airport, I had met a taxi driver on our way into La Habana the night before. And I'm like, oh, there's like 5 of us. We need to get to the airport tomorrow. And he's like, oh, you tell me what time. Give me the corner of the street and I'm going to be there. Like, I give you my word. And there's like no way to text. There's no way to like call him. And sure enough, that next morning he was there and like ready to put our luggage into his taxi. And it felt like old school, and people that are keeping their word. It was a beautiful little moment right there to have
Yeah.
that.
Meanwhile, we were trying to find another cab because we're like, no way he's coming.
Yeah, you guys didn't believe him, right? You didn't believe.
No. Me and Prado, I think even Luis, we're like, no, that's not.
Yeah,
But no,
but
a little faith.
but it's also their livelihood, right?
Right.
So it's like, all right, these are my customers. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be there. So yeah.
So you were on the news. What was that like?
Well, I didn't realize they had come into Casa de las Americas, I guess, we thought they were documenting the event, and it turned out it was for the national news in Cuba. And then the next day, Viva and I were walking down the street, and this woman's like, I know you. And we're like, hey. And she's like, estabas en las noticias nacionales, like we heard you guys speak, or like, thanks for coming out and sharing words. So that was a nice little moment right there, to know that I guess the whole island got to tap in and see what was happening with our conference. But yeah.
And you got your book in the bookstore.
Yes. Yeah, we're at the biblioteca right there. Code Switch, Fires from Mi Corazón. I took other women's books with me as well.
Mhm.
I wanted to bring some of our California sisters who have published. I took some Mujeres de Maíz zines. I took Sonia Gutierrez's book, Spider Woman, my book, Code Switch. Odilia Galvan, the maestra from the Bay Area. I took one of her books as well. And so, just wanting to leave a little trace of us there at their library, at the Biblioteca at Casa de las Americas.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's phenomenal.
Now you got to get mowing leaves of grass down there too.
Yeah, no, I know. I was supposed to be out by then, but it was mostly my fault why I wasn't. But I gotta get back. I have more motivation to get back, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So tell us about Code Switch. Tell us about what is this book you refer to, Code Switch, for those who, for the 5 people out there on Facebook who've never heard of Iris de Anda.
Who have never, they're like, Edie, shut up about it already. It's my poetry book. It's been out for 5 years. I just received the 4th printing. And so it is a poetry book about identity, social justice. It's divided in 4 chapters. It's used at several universities for ethnic studies. And so if any of you out there haven't heard of it or you want to get your hands on it, you can order it via myself. It's on Amazon. I don't think we're supposed to be supporting Amazon at the moment, but yeah, you can hit me up. I'll send you a copy. We'll exchange some funds and you can read some words. But yeah, it's been doing its thing for 5 years and I'm doing my best. This is a writer's dream, right? To be alone in a room and like writing, wanting to get out those next books. So I'm hoping to finish up this manuscript that's coming up and hopefully put it out there with the Flower Song Press family. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Wink, wink, et cetera. No, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. We're really all anticipating that next book coming out and all, and planning events around it. So it's a really exciting time for the press.
Definitely.
For you, I imagine, but I don't want to say it's an exciting time for you. That's just weird, So
hey, Matt.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Well, we were supposed to be in Seattle tomorrow.
I know.
We were going to be at Knox presenting about our Cuba experience. So, like, what are you feeling? Because you're staying home. We're all staying home.
We're staying home. Yeah. So we had Knox. In addition to Knox, I had a reading at Elliott Bay Books, which is like one of their kind of big bookstores out in Seattle. So I was really excited about that. And the way I am, I'm gonna like, okay, today Elliott Books, tomorrow Powell, then this, then this, and this. So I'm like making plans based upon this thing to bigger things, and the next thing. So that was a pretty devastating loss. That was pretty upsetting to have lost, the Seattle trip altogether. But got to keep moving, got to keep thinking, got to keep whatever, and moving on to the next thing. So I felt something around that. But I just don't want to. I felt like I lost a lot of momentum for the book. Is what I felt more than anything. I mean, I feel like I know I've lost gigs and shows and money and that kind of thing, but I felt like I lost momentum for the book, and I felt the book was starting to kind of really pick up momentum. So, but I'm not one to sit around and just think about losing. I'm gonna try and win. So like I'm trying to pick back up momentum. I'm coming up with some ideas, some projects, some professors I'm gonna be working with they're actually coming up with kind of study guides for the book. They're gonna actually pick poems out of the book and create study guides around individual poems. And so that's already in the works. That's already kind of moving down the line. So I'm really excited about that. I've been doing the things with Jose Prado, who was actually the professor who brought us out to Cuba. He was next there. And
yeah.
So, I'm just staying productive. Keeping moving.
Yeah, you're definitely keeping yourself busy, and I'm glad to see that, because I think to have your book tour put on pause, is no small feat. And you're one of many authors that have released amazing books at this time. I know Gris Munoz also just released Coatlique Girl with Flower Song as well. And we wanted her out here in LA. We were going to do something in March and things got postponed. So yeah.
Yeah, but Griz's book's doing really well. I mean, I see a lot of people talking about it. There's still a lot of buzz. There's still, there's still, and people need something to read. So like, that's you gotta look at it that way, right?
Yes.
So I encourage everyone to pick a copy of Griz's book as well. Go to Flower Song Books, and you can see a number of great authors, number of great titles.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I don't know how long we're going to be on this. This is our test run of.
I wanted to ask you two more questions, and then we can call it. We can call it
Okay.
a day. And I appreciate this. I appreciate you helping me out here because I wanted to make sure this was going to run smoothly and not have any issues. And we'll do a proper one. In fact, we'll probably it'd be a good idea to invite Luis, Jose, and Viva. Maybe we can just
Yeah.
I mean, we're all inside now, so might as well.
Right.
Yeah, maybe we do like a proper recap on Cuba.
All dressed up, nowhere to go.
So, but what I want to say, the question I wanted to ask you was, you sent your last book to, you sent Code Switch to Barack Obama. So it's a two-part question. One, of course, why, what was the purpose of that? And then two, you intend to send this one also intend to send the next one to Donald Trump. And I'm curious as to like how you, what are your thoughts around that?
Well, I mean, I feel for me, my poetry it's also a form of activism, if that's the correct word. And I wrote poems for Barack in Code Switch, like connecting the dots in the timeline. Barack Obama was a poet at Occidental College, which is right here, like 15 minutes from my house. He attended school there the year I was born, and I was born in that Glendale, Eagle Rock area. And so I highlighted a couple poems and mailed it to the White House because, like, why not? Like, why shouldn't he be reading what the public? Not saying I speak for the public, but like maybe a little certain demographic, or my.
You are a member of the public.
Yeah. And just wanting it to get out there, and I did receive acknowledgement that they have it there, and just reminding him of his grassroots days and like the power of like being a person, whether the president is, we know he's moved by other people, but he still holds that image of power, and what are they going to do with it? And as citizens, we get to question, and ask them to think, ask them like, really, like, why are you up there holding this position if you're going back on things that were promised? And that's politics, that's politicians, but that was my purpose in sending it. And so this next one does have a lot to do with immigration, and has a lot to do with police brutality. And I feel that Trump has been an enemy, of the people. And so I'm going to highlight a couple. I didn't write any for him, number 45. I'm not going to write poems for him, but there are some poems in there that I will highlight. And I definitely think he should read and consider, or whoever opens the book at the White House can read and consider the voice and the thoughts of the people at this time. Yeah.
I know we talked about this before, and it's kind of funny. I think you're much more likely to get a personal response from Donald Trump than Obama.
He's me, right?
I mean, like, someone, if it slips through the cracks and he sees it, he'd be like, "What? Wow," like.
Yeah.
Very
I'll get a 3 a.m. tweet.
Well, it's been really great, and I'm sure we'll talk some more. And I'm really looking forward to Thursday, where we're gonna be reading together with Jose Luis, and speaking Ocean.
Asholat, something to that effect. Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking in April is the name of the series this Thursday, 8 o'clock via Zoom. I will be doing the Writers Underground this Thursday as well, but it's Instagram live from 7 to 8. And then right after that, I'll head into the Zoom call with you guys. So lots of open mics for all of you guys to join us.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you have coming up that you would like to talk about or promote?
No, I think that's it this week. Those are the two main ones. We were on earlier with our friends up in the Bay, right? The Black Youth Project.
Oh, yeah. Tom, Luis, and Martin, and the most hated or the bugged the government shutting us down Instagram live I've ever been on it. Everyone was getting shut down.
They kept cutting the mic, cutting the stream, but there's somebody for people to check out as well. So, you know, lots of stuff still happening, and that's the beauty of community is we're gonna keep it going regardless. So
yeah. So okay, so tomorrow, everyone watching now, please tune in 11 a.m. I'm going to be talking to Dr. Paul Ortiz, author of An African American and Latinx History of the United States. And then on Friday, I'm actually going to be talking to Tongo, and we're going to be talking about each other's books. And Iris, we got to do this again, you know, in a much more, in a more prepared fashion. And
I'll comb my hair next time.
I'll wear a jacket or something. You know, we'll make it very formal. So I really appreciate you for stuff, and thank you so much, Iris. And thank you.
Sounds good, Cedillo. I'll see you.
See you soon.
Peace.